The Red Shoe Club. I mentioned this in a video briefly yesterday, and a lot of you want to know more. So we're going to talk about red shoes, and we're going to start with a history lesson and then work our way up into today's theories. So take a seat and let's take a ride. Back in ancient Rome, wearing red shoes was not just a fashion choice. It meant that you were more powerful than everyone else, that you were part of making the rules. You weren't just wealthy, you were ruling. And as you can see here, it was a symbol of status and power. Red footwear had to be dyed red in ancient Rome, and the dye that was used came from Murex sea snails, thousands of them. It was very labor intensive, it was extremely expensive, and it also reportedly smelled awful. But that created the red footwear that showed everyone around you that you were power. This symbolism and meaning carried over into the Middle Ages with sumptuary laws. These were laws that dictated who could wear what, including fabrics and colors, including red shoes. If commoners attempted to wear something that they were not allowed to under these sumptuary laws, they could be fined, imprisoned, or publicly punished. So historically, red on your feet did not just mean that you were rich. It meant you were ordered into a specific tier of society. You had access to rooms and decisions that were physically off limits to everyone else. Then there's the Vatican. The Pope wears red shoes, often referred to as piscatary red shoes. The theological explanation is that this represents the blood of the martyrs and humility before God. But if you look at it through the lens of power, the meaning is still the same as it was in ancient Rome. This is the highest authority in the church. This is power. Now the part that you're really here for, the Red Shoe Club theory in modern day times. Now I want to be very, very clear. I need to be very clear. I am not saying that any of these theories are true. I am not accusing anyone in these photos of a crime. We are just talking about theories. So, when it comes to red shoes, people started noticing that very powerful men were often wearing bright red shoes like this. So the simplest part of this conspiracy is that it is a signal to say how powerful you are. In a room of rich people, this is one of the ways you tell people, I am even higher, I am elite. But there are darker parts of this theory. One of those being that some people believe these shoes are not made of leather. Some people believe they are made of human skin that is obtained through high-level trafficking networks. This really gained traction in 2012 when an article came out about a company that allegedly offered bespoke human leather goods, showing that it was a possibility. They also say that the material these shoes are made of don't match up with leather or alligator or anything else that would make sense. Now, there is nothing to prove this with concrete evidence. Again, we are discussing theories. Tony Podesta is a name you might hear if you start looking up the Red Shoe Club. There are images of him wearing red shoes. There's also images of him wearing red shoes near disturbing artwork. So people started linking not only Tony Podesta to the Red Shoe Club, but it also became linked to things like Pizzagate and QAnon theories. Now, could we go deeper into the Red Shoe Club? You already know that we could. But number one, I have to be careful about how deep I get into the darkest theories on this app. And number two, this video is already almost 4 minutes long, and I'm not sure how many of you are still here. If you are still here and you want to hear more, let me know in the comments. But for now, I think we can all agree that red shoes for many, many years have been a sign of power and wealth and being elite. Does it stop there, or has it now grown to be an indicator of something darker, of circles that we are now starting to read about in some certain files? Let me know where you stand on this, and again, if you want me to go deeper, let me know. I'm just not sure how many more of you are still here. If you are, thank you so much for listening, and let me know your thoughts. Stay safe.